I joined the military in September of 1998 for 5 years and then extended out a little bit more than that. And my father served in the military. My eldest brother served in the military, who's also a CB. Um, and when I got out of high school, I really just wanted to see something different rather than just to stay in the area and go to work. Um, and the Navy provided that to me. Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I kind of block out a lot of what was there and a lot of what was going on because that that portion of everything was more detrimental to me personally than it is beneficial. In Iraq and Afghanistan, I learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about humanity, and I learned that the world is truly is a lot smaller than we all think that it is. My time in the military changed me drastically because of the injuries that I did suffer and the lasting effects of those, which I will deal with and I have to deal with for the rest of my life. Um, Along with PTSD and TBI, I am functionally deaf, and I suffer from chronic migraines. I was on high dose medications for a very long time, and some of those medications that I was on for a long time caused me a lot of medical complications that I deal with now. When I was 28 years old, I had a very mild heart attack, and this is something that I have to deal with now because my heart has already been compromised. When I was 32 years old, I suffered a stroke, which caused me to lose the rest of the hearing that I have in my left ear, and as well as some nerve damage to the left side of my face and the left side of my body in general. The most profound and the most visible, I guess, would be the hearing loss because I have to wear hearing devices um, in order to function. The most difficult to deal with are by far the invisible wounds, the wounds that you don't see, the PTSD and the TBI, the, the depression and anxiety, the feelings of grief over, friends that have been hurt, friends that have been killed, and friends that have lost their battle with PTSD after coming home. These are absolutely the hardest things to deal with. What PTSD stands for is post traumatic stress disorder. And PTSD is not something that is just limited to soldiers. It is, something that can happen to anyone suffering from any type of trauma. It's across the board. It's not just soldiers. It's something that happens to victims of rape or victims of assaults. As you progress along your road to recovery, you start to really grasp that concept that this is something that I'm going to deal with for life. This is not something that's going to go away with a pill or with therapy. You know, these medications and the therapies and the doctors, they can help. They really do help a lot. But there's no cure. You will have that constantly in the background. My TBI was caused by an explosion, and in which the shockwave actually damaged my hearing and caused some bruising and swelling of my. I had gone into the hospital for an appointment that day, and my doctor told me, "Hey, you seem like you're really on edge today. You should go up to the mental health clinic and see if you can see someone." I wound up doing an inpatient treatment in the psych ward, and while I was there, the first few days were really kind of a blur to me between medications, and I was still really upset, really mad. I noticed this guy that didn't do anything. He slept. He appeared to be sleeping the entire time that we were there. And I asked him. I was like, "Dude, so what is your deal?" I'm like, you haven't moved. I thought you were like, catatonic or something." And he's like, "No." He told me that I will never be cured from this. This is something that I will always have to deal with. And that it's okay to have a bad day, but you have to be able to work your way around it. And that was my turning point. When I admitted to myself that I am PTSD, I am TBI, I have these disabilities, and I will deal with them for the rest of my life. Organizations talk about veterans coming back and adjusting to their new normal, and Wounded Warrior Project really helps guys get to their new normal and adjust to living life at their new normal. It's not necessarily about what you can't do, but it's about what you can do. And the Wounded Warrior Project helps guys realize that by doing physical health and wellness events, by doing programs called Project Odyssey, and they also help with educational programs and claims processing and many different areas, and they can really help keep guys on track and moving forward in life instead of either stalling or even moving backwards. Warrior Project means the world to me at this point. They have helped me and my family overcome great obstacles in our lives. The Wounded Warrior Project logo itself is one soldier carrying another soldier, and they try to make everybody understand that logo carries true, because one day I may be the soldier on the bottom carrying another soldier by helping them out or steering them in the right direction or just being an ear for them to talk to. But tomorrow I may be the soldier that needs to be carried. And the Wounded Warrior Project embodies that logo by the programs that they have in place. The Wounded Warrior Project has brought my wife and I much closer together by getting us involved and getting us out of the house and doing things with other veterans. And my kids and my wife and I, we all benefit from the interactions that Wounded Warrior Project facilitates. Choose to help other veterans because it helps me. Um, I heard a speech at one point from somebody that said the the greatest gift that you can give on this earth is to help someone else. And as soon as you can start to help other people, you start to feel better yourself. The peer facilitator support group that I run is
just that. It's a support group. I am. What happens at these meetings is really, it's really quite basic. It's really quite simple because what we talk about is the real life struggles. We don't sit there and talk about PTSD and define PTSD. We sit and we talk about how is PTSD affecting my life today, or how is my anxiety affecting my life today. I love to ride my bike, and I do jujitsu with my children. Um, and in doing those things, that physical activity, not only am I staying moving and staying engaged and staying busy, but I'm also working on my own physical health, which has been a problem for me in the past. And so when we go through these bike rides and these other things that we do together, you know, you're reinforcing the camaraderie that we have together. And when I do jujitsu with my children, you know, it becomes a family event, and it becomes a family thing to go and do together. What's next for me is I am preparing for La Vuelta Puerto Rico. It is a 3 day, 375-mile bike ride. Last year, I was a support personnel for the team of warriors that rode in the event, and this year I am proud to say that I will be riding in this event. I'm training for that and getting ready to take that on, and very excited to take on that size of a challenge. It's not a it's not something that a lot of people can really wrap their head around doing. Every day is a battle, and every day is a struggle when you're dealing with these issues. So wake up every day and act like you have to win. Get up and do the things that you need to do in order to call today a win. If you lose today, fine. Then you start over again tomorrow and you win tomorrow. Win the day.